time to wake up once again to another fantastic edition of Wake Up Nigeria.
Every day of the week, we make sure we are here to bring you the best of entertainment, lifestyle, and some really, really great food.
Of course, the food, so important.
Yeah.
Spending time with you every morning is always an absolute delight. And of course, we hope you're ready for yet another jolly ride. My name is Titilayo Oyinsong.
And I'm Yomi Okwe. If you have to be on the move, we have got you covered. You can check us out online right now at tvcontinental.tv and on Facebook at TVC Connect. If you want to participate in the show, use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Now, breakfast is a very important meal. The most important meal of the day, by the way. We have our chef, Chef Susan, back to make sure that area of business is covered.
Hey, guys.
Hi guys, good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Yeah, we're making something very interesting this morning, so you need to stick around for this one.
Okay, all I can see is garden eggs and pepper.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you all look like sisters today. I don't know, it's just like, there's something petite and cute about both of you today.
Wow,
Thank you.
just have to go
Thank you.
I don't know. Alrighty, so on the show today, there is quite a package for you.
Yeah, singer and spoken word artist Eva Johnson will be here getting us in the mood for some nice, cool music.
That was crazy. Big blanket for me brush, famous in love.
And as the popular saying goes, humor is the spice of life. And to add a little extra spice to your morning today, we have a couple of videos which are guaranteed to leave you in stitches.
That's how it is. In fact, it's them that supposed to be paying NYC, and I tell you, them don't do NYC. NYC is doing the video. I tell you,
Wow.
You are there asking whether they...
And if you've ever wondered what it takes to grow individually, even while in a relationship, then today's relationship discussion is what you need to try to help partners nurture their individual growth even while married.
And for our health discussion today, our focus is on tuberculosis with the World Health Organization representative who will be here to talk about it.
And we'll also be showing you some really cool tips and tricks on how to make some simple tasks even easier. I absolutely would love to see that.
And finally, we have a special treat for the ladies. He's tall, he's dark, he is handsome, and he's gonna be right here talking about the Nollywood actor Yemi Black. He's gonna be right here for a chat.
I cannot partake in the fellowship. It's easier to love a stranger than the one that you know.
Is that coming from a deeper place?
Sexy one! You're so stuck. Pay for it. It is my property.
All right.
Middle of the week.
Finally, the hump of the week.
Yeah.
See what Yomi did? Yomi said, middle of the week.
Yeah, well, you know.
Are you like calculating how much you've spent already this week or something?
Oh, no.
I don't know.
Nah,
Really?
Don't let us smile the window. Like,
What?
I noticed
No,
it's not as bright as it was last week.
no,
On
don't worry.
Monday.
When the fees had been paid.
Yes, so
know.
I don't know what is going on.
I think this is the aftermath. When you
You
suddenly remember you
you
wanted to do the
get
house.
to a point in your life where there's certain things that are not an issue anymore.
And
So
big
school
boy
fees is
talk.
one of those things. I don't.
Okay, so
don't
I'm
worry
just
about
waiting
school
for you all
fees.
to be done so that I could just say what I actually really want.
Go
You
ahead.
have
Emma.
another gist now.
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
Because,
God.
I mean, it's amazing. There's a trend now where people get married without being present at the wedding. I don't understand that trend. So
been on for a while.
I'm seeing
I was about to
pictures
say that.
of 2 throw pillows representing a couple at a wedding.
Ew.
So they have their images, you know, printed on the throw pillow. And so they'll sit
saw it
where
as well.
the one pillow of the groom will sit where the husband was supposed to sit at the reception. Another throw pillow represent the wife
And they'll
at
both
the
be there.
reception.
And
And there'll be food drinks.
And then the whole family,
And the whole
everybody
family, everyone will be
The throw
there.
pillow thing is actually new. It used to be just pictures.
Yeah, the frame.
Yeah, it used to be the
Pictures,
frame.
yes.
At least one person will be present. At least maybe the
It's
groom
not always
or
been like that.
or the bride.
If they are living abroad, it's always been two pictures representing them. I'm not kidding.
Then they should have the wedding abroad.
How many people can go? Their family members, you know whether they're struggling over there.
You
They
see?
just want to get married.
You see, that's the mentality we have. Must everyone be present at the wedding ceremony?
Exactly.
Not
Can
everybody.
you afford to pay for the tickets?
Must
Even if it's
everyone
just
be
two
present
people.
at the wedding ceremony?
Listen.
Can't the two
Not-
can't
yeah,
can't the
but
people
I
involved
totally
just get
agree.
married?
I think it's a
See.
bit. The one I saw was they said the gentleman was over in Europe, and the lady was here. So the lady sat down beside a picture of the guy.
Yeah, there are some that
I mean,
there will
it's
be an
ridiculous.
effigy,
Yeah,
and the clothes of the guy will be worn on the effigy
Wow.
representing him.
that's even worse.
I actually believe, you know, that if, for instance, the two parties can't be present for a party, for a celebration, then that celebration should not happen until they can be present. That's just my opinion. If, for instance, there is a smaller celebration, even if it's just 10 people, it's still a celebration.
Yeah.
Do what you can with what you
What
have.
I find weird is the number of people that come to eat, knowing fully well you're not going to watch the bride come in, you're not going to
It's
watch
free food.
the,
What do you expect? It's
the
free food.
bride and groom
Crazy.
dance.
It's free food.
And at the end of the day, nobody cares really. So
Everybody loves free food, loves a party in Nigeria.
All right, it's time for us to take a look at the papers this morning. Starting with the Punch, lots of interesting stories.
Yeah, in fact, I was actually really interested
Yeah.
in what you have on the cover.
I'm
of
going
the
to show
Punch.
you a few of them. PDP writes UK, German leaders says Buhari abusing rule of law. PDP is taking its pettiness to a ridiculous level, says APC. APC presidential governorship aspirants to pay 45 million naira and 22.5 million naira for forms. Are you still thinking of picking up a form, Titi?
Wow.
Wow, 45 million naira to pick up a form. Presidential governorship primaries hold September 20th and 25. Federal government demands $2 billion tax arrears from MTN. They're going to kick out this country, MTN. All right, Buhari uncompromising, power drunk, says Atiku. A flood kills soldier, 9 others in Kebbi. Return stolen artifacts, Benin monarch tells UK. I think it's about time. I advocate fiscal federalism, not geographical restructuring, says Oshibajo. And finally, police return children sold for 200,000 naira to parents. All on the cover of the Punch.
Goodness me, that last headline. Wow. Okay, on the cover of the Guardian newspaper, we have Osinbajo versus Atiku. Some very powerful quotes up here from both parties.
Yeah.
Restructuring, former VP in war of words over Nigeria's future. It also says here, federal government wants MTN to pay an additional $2 billion in taxes and import duties. Firm's share drops further by 33%. It was 25% as of last week.
Yeah.
33% now. Rejects AG's claims. Investors differ on fines over proposed Nigeria's IPO. No party will win election through violence, says INEC. Labor unions lose 2,000 members to Boko Haram. How $2 billion fintech challenge will boost financial inclusion. That's what we have on the cover of The Guardian.
The Vanguard is next, a story that was in the news last night. Police raid Edwin Clark's Abuja house. Searched 2 hours for arms ammunition. At 91, government can't gag me, says Clark. IGP has no hands in it, says force headquarters. Orders detention of those involved. Nigerians at risk of starvation, EU member states raise alarm. Wow. Oshibajo, Atiku tango over restructuring. Why we obey directive to recall the redeployed officers, says DSS. And there's a schematic diagram of tuberculosis rate in Nigeria there. And we have some discussions on that later. And father uses 2-year-old son as collateral for 21,000 naira house rent in Calabar.
Wow.
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 72 billion naira new ports to access roads to be funded by tax credit. And Mark joins presidential race, harps on restructuring, says he'll fix economy in 2 years.
That's interesting.
Sound familiar?
Interesting.
Yeah. All on the cover of the Vanguard.
On the cover of this day newspaper, it says, police raid 91-year-old clerk's Abuja house. On page 17, there's more about that. With $2 billion tax arrears demand by federal government, it's double jeopardy for MTN. Telecoms company insists all outstanding taxes are cleared. There's a picture here at the Center of Commerce. The Kano State Governor, Alhaji Abdullahi Ganduje, here with the Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo, with a flower girl during the visit of the Vice President to Kano yesterday. It also says here, PDP petitions May, Merkel over alleged growing impunity. Mark joins presidential race, promises to restructure Nigeria. Yes, he does. Buhari, its partnership with China will attract over $5 billion worth of investments. And then operators threaten a showdown with NICOM over recapitalization deadline. More about that on page 16 of this day newspaper.
And the Daily Sun has the headline, IGP orders detention of 4 cops over Clark's home raid. Ijaw leader considers legal action. No going back on September 14, sit at home, says IPOB. 2019, David Mark, Donald Duke joined presidential race in PDP and SDP. Osinbajo, Atiku clash over restructuring. His understanding is vague, says the vice president. Don't rewrite history, ex-vice president fires back. APC begins primaries September 20th with presidential, insists on 45 million, 22 million and 7 million and 3 million nomination fees. All on the cover of the Daily Sun.
The Nation newspaper is next. It says, 2019, 5 PDP governors seeking deal with Buhari. Shekarau dumps PDP. It also says here, Osun 2018, Oyetola, Osun's future brighter under APC. INEC moves to foil vote buying. AD candidate won't abandon projects. It says here, more on page 9. MTN kicks as government demands for $2 billion unpaid taxes. Nigeria-China partnership yields $5 billion worth of projects. It also says here, soldier, 9 others die in flood. That's on page 42. APC to pick presidential candidate September 20th. Osinbajo, Atiku clash over restructuring. Customs Service collects 140 billion naira cash in August. And Seychelles, Nigeria tie. 20 players hit Eagles camp. That's what we have on the cover of The Nation.
Yeah, the Tribune is next. Police raid Edwin Clark's home. It was shameful, disrespectful. They said they were in search of arms, he says. PANDEF, Haneze, Afenifere, Middlebelt Forum, NEF, IYC condemn raid. APC fixes presidential nomination form at 40 million, governorship at 22.5 million. After $8.1 billion fine, federal government demands $2 billion tax arrears from MTN. We have settled the amount in question, says MTN. Restructuring, Osinbajo, Atiku in fiery exchanges. Ex-vice president's idea vague, says Osinbajo. Restructuring, a necessity, not an option, Atiku replies. Chinese loans, not debt trap. We can repay, says Buhari. Shekarau, PDP expands Kano Caretaker Committee. And finally, Donald Duke dumps PDP for SDP, declares presidential ambition, while David Mark picks PDP presidential nomination form. All on the cover of the Nigerian Tribune.
Okay, the New Telegraph is next, as quickly as possible here. It says, police raid Clark's residence, accuse Ijaw leader of stockpiling arms and ammunition. Ex-minister says it's ridiculous to accuse me of selling arms. IG orders detention of 4 police informants. And it says here, Southern Northern leaders Pandef kick. Osinbajo, Atiku at war over restructuring, with some quotes right there. Britain sets to eradicate HIV. Would love to read about that. It also says here, Nigeria has benefited $5 billion worth of projects from China as Shekarau dumps PDP, considers APC. That's what we have on the cover of the New Telegraph. And with that, we wrap up on the newspaper headlines.
All right, we're heading to the kitchen now, where is on standby with Chef Susan, and they have...
It's not it's Mary.
Oh,
Yomi.
it's Mary in the
Are you
kitchen.
confusing both of them now,
Oh,
Yomi?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Like,
Hey,
Yomi,
guys.
there's a difference in height at least, even though I get told we look alike. Well, I am super excited and pumped up with expectations of a fabulous breakfast this morning. Why?
right.
Because we have Chef Susan of Splash Greens right here with us.
Whoop, thank you so much for having me. I'm always excited to be here.
We're always
every
excited
morning.
to have you too.
Thank you so much.
So what are you making this morning?
All right, this is very healthy and yummy meal. I
Okay.
have here, I'm going to be making garden egg sauce or stew, however you like to call it, with boiled yam. And here are the recipe, not too much, very affordable and, you know, not cheap or in between to make as breakfast. All right,
Okay.
so we're boiling some yams, cut is diced already. Then the garden egg has been chopped. We're just going to boil it, and there's pepper. I usually call it atarodo. Then there's a ground
So you said
crayfish.
this has been boiled?
No, it's not boiled.
Okay.
It's just going to be boiled, but it has
Okay.
been cut into
Okay.
halves.
Halves,
Yeah.
okay.
Then palm oil, very healthy. We're going to be using that. Then some smoked fish to, you know, garnish it and make it look very yummy and interesting. So
Wow. Plus
that
salt
is how
and
we're-
seasoning
yeah,
cubes, of course.
Yes. Then ginger and garlic. I like to use that. Here it is.
Fresh ones?
Yes, fresh ones. You know,
Interesting.
just to give it some flavor.
All right.
All
So what is the first thing we're doing?
The garden egg has been washed, diced, of course. So we're going to, the water is heating up already to hasten up our work. So we're just going to have it in the water.
Okay.
Yeah. So when it's boiled up, we'll leave it to. We'll process it in the food.
Oh, we are still going to use the food
yes,
processor
the food
for it.
processor when it's softened.
In that case,
and all.
for how long are we going to boil it?
In the next max, say 5 minutes, it should be ready.
Next
because the
5
water,
minutes.
yes, 5 minutes, because the
Okay.
water is already boiling already. So it's going to be ready. When it's softened, then we put it in the food processor and
Okay.
process it.
So what about, I see you're boiling something on the other
Yes,
side.
it's going to be for the
Yam.
yam, to boil the yam. We're going to throw that in as well to
Okay.
hasten up. Then I would just like to talk about the health benefits of
Fantastic.
garden
Please go ahead.
egg, which is why I really love to. We make healthy food as Splash Greens,
Splash
so
Greens.
yes, we try as much as possible to make every bit of every meal as healthy
As possible.
Garden egg is very good for it lowers cholesterol in the body, and the major reason why we're doing this is very good for pregnant women. You know, it has folates, and you know, we all know that folic acid is
It's
what
very important
very
for a
important
pregnant
for a
woman, that's
pregnant
true.
woman. So garden egg has a lot to do, you know, when a pregnant woman consumes it,
Well,
then it has a whole lot of health
I
benefits.
can imagine. I'm sure
Yes.
you already have a whole long list of yours, besides mine, that is. However, it's time for a commercial break. We'll be back shortly with some music. Stay with us. It's Wake Up Nigeria.
Welcome back. It's still Wake Up Nigeria. Now we're starting this morning with something really interesting. We have loads of music and entertaining stuff coming your way soon, but this topic really sparked our interest. As much as marriage happens to be a union, it's necessary for individuals to continue developing themselves and, of course, nurturing growth in different areas of their lives. Joining me to talk about marriage is this amazing counselor, Priscilla Benjamin Olayoye. Now, she's she's really interesting lady. She's versed in mental health issues, and she has been talking about this for years. We've been discussing her, talking about this on the show for a long time. It's really interesting that you could make it this morning.
I'm so excited being here, Titi. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Okay, so now growth, personal growth in relationships. I've always been of the opinion that once you're married, once you have a spouse, that growth should be a partnership, it should be teamwork. And when you discuss it in this particular direction, it makes it feel like, okay, maybe I had the wrong idea. Right. Was that wrong? Please tell me if I was wrong.
Okay, so for starters, no, you are not wrong. Okay. We say that marriage is the fusion of two individuals. Okay. But you see, what we've discovered is many people, when they get married, they lose their individuality. Okay. There is a place of individuality and there is a place of togetherness. When you lose your very essence, what makes you tick, there is the possibility that you will ruin the gift of marriage that you have. Okay. So we expect our partners to hold us by the hand and lead us or carry us along when they're going. But you want to also look at the place of mental compatibility, you know, in that relationship. Who you were 10 years ago is not the same person you are. And it's very important that as an individual in a relationship, you are in tune with your status, your mental status per time. So your partner would only push as hard as he or she knows. Okay. You see yourself evolving. You observe that your interests are beginning to change. You're observing that the things that would push you and motivate you some years into marriage is not the same as what motivated you, you know, before you got married.
Okay, I'm thinking about those couples who started out in a particular way. Right. And as you said, who you were 10 years ago isn't who you are today. Right. Now your mindset has changed about so many things. Right. Meaning that it is actually possible that the way you love your partner could actually change. Affection. Oh, right. The way you show affection, the way you relate, the way you talk, the way you interact can change. This, for some, might seem like a deterioration in the relationship.
Yes.
But can it also be termed as growth, personal growth, for one or two of the individuals?
So we say basically what growth is, and growth is the ability of an individual to go from a certain physical status or mental status or social status, whatever the parameters are, to a different level, right? Growth is relative to who is looking at it or who is assessing it. Growth, to me, might be deterioration to someone else. Okay. For example, someone who married a timid person, eventually that person chooses to go on some personal journey and becomes more assertive. To a domineering partner, that will not be growth because the person became more assertive. That's the person becoming less submissive or, you know, growing wings, as some would say it. True. But for me, when we talk about personal growth, is you being true to self. Is you being true to what you think it is. What I feel is the gap here is communication. Communicating where you are, communicating your new feelings, your new desires, and your plan, talking about how you want to go about it. The mistake also is that many people want to push their spouses to go in the new direction that they want to go. We don't leave that other person to go at their own pace. You know, you just want to push them, and then we get into a lot of arguments, we get into a lot of fights, and then you hear things like, you've changed.
Yeah, true.
Right.
True. But then again, you know, to someone who has become more assertive, maybe gone to school, earned a few more degrees, started earning more money, exposed to different intellectual individuals in meetings, at the office, at work. Now that person is growing at one point or another. Right. In essence, pulling that partner along might be tasking, because for a more assertive person, that person is now considered maybe slower, doesn't have that much direction. So what exactly can we do?
Or laid back.
Exactly. What exactly can you do as someone who has started achieving some personal growth to make sure that our partners are carried along and not, in essence, dragged along?
Right.
What can we do?
So that you don't even wear out. Yeah. So basically, I would encourage that there is what life teaches us at different times. At the time of your growth, that's the time for you to remember that humility is key at this time. You have to know that your partner sees you through certain eyes, and you also must recognize that at the time you began this journey, your partner probably was not ready at the time you started. So you must come to a place of self-awareness and being aware of your partner, recognizing where they are and being empathetic to the fact that what you were exposed to at the time you began your growth, your partner was not exposed to it. But if you have been communicating your everyday experience, there is a possibility that your partner begins to see the trend. Because not so many people are able to, future pace, to see that with the rate this person is going, this is what might happen. And because we're not able to foresee that, we're not able to look at it in line with our family vision. So is it in line with our family vision? If our family vision is saying that we have to grow together, then I know the onus lies on me to continually remind my partner of our plan, that we said we were going to grow together. But, for example, using myself as an example, when I began certain programs and all of that, my husband was not, he wasn't totally accepting of, that new path, because he met me a different person. But what changed? What changed was the fact that he began to observe my intrinsic motivation and how I would light up, when you were talking. So for you who is growing, you must be empathetic to where your partner is. And for your partner, the person should allow you blossom if that person truly loves you.
I love the way you just ended that. If that person truly loves you, he or she will let you blossom. And with that, we have to wrap up this particular segment. Thank you so much for coming to the studio.
It's my pleasure.
We have to have one or two more conversations, Priscilla.
Right.
Okay, so let's head over to the kitchen now. And there's so much happening.
Nothing much is happening.
All right, you're welcome back to the kitchen. Thank you very much, Titi. I still have Chef Susan of Splash Greens right here with me.
Yeah, thank you, Mary.
And menu today, we're making garden egg
sauce with boiled yam.
Yeah.
And,
so let's reprise the ingredients.
All right. The garden egg is boiling, not ready yet. Then pepper, onions, garlic, and ginger. Then there's a ground crayfish, of course, seasoning and salt. Then to spice it up, the protein is the smoked mackerel fish.
All right.
Yeah.
So you were telling me earlier that we're going to boil the
garden egg, which is still boiling, and it's going to be processed in the food processor later when it's softened enough.
Okay.
All right. Then the yam is boiling as well.
Okay. We cannot use the food processor because of, the noise it would make. It would make a lot of noise.
Okay.
So that would definitely be while we're on the break.
Okay.
However, could you just run us through the process?
All right. Well,
when the garden
egg is ready, just process it, soften it in the food processor, and it's simple. You put your pan, put your oil in it, and after the oil,
The oil, is it going to get very hot or just
mildly soft? Not heated. You're not bleaching it. Like it's just mildly soft and hot. Then you add your onions. After your onions, then the processed garden egg. The garden egg would be processed alongside this Scotch bonnet pepper.
Okay, so this goes into the processor.
And the garlic and ginger goes into the processor.
Basically everything here, minus
aside
the onions.
The onions will be fried while the palm oil is on the pan. It will be stir-fried with the processed garden egg, with the ginger and garlic would be put into the oil. You stir-fry it. After stir-frying it, you add your smoked fish. Then the ground crayfish goes inside. Then you add your seasoning and your salt.
Now, I see that you have smoked fish.
Yes.
Is it possible for this recipe to hit the mark without it being smoked fish?
It could be anything. It could be paired along with chicken, but probably not inside just to have a protein in the meal. That is what this is serving as. But It's just a simple meal, so you don't want to, you can easily get a smoked fish and shred it into pieces just to have the flavor in your meal.
Okay, I was actually looking at, okay, instead of smoked,
yeah,
maybe some other kind of fish.
Fish, it could be boiled, it could be whatever fish
it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter whether it is smoked fish or not.
Now, there's something about the yam.
Okay.
For those who observed it just before we put it
in the pan. It's
I actually like the spirals on it.
Okay, it's just a tool to cut. I actually do this to help probably a food pick a child, you know. When they see this, it fascinates them. Yeah, it makes them want, oh, what is this? Are you sure this is yam? And you know, they pick it up. Can I eat this? Is this actually an art or something? So I just do this at times to fascinate kids, probably, and even as an adult. It fascinates you, really.
Indeed, it
does. It was just a tool that I used to get that out, and I'd like to talk more about the health benefits of garden egg.
We'll do that much later, okay?
All right.
In the meantime, however, we have to go on a break. Stay with us. It's Wake Up Nigeria.
Thank you.
All right, welcome back. We have a special guest in the house joining us this morning. We can draw attention to a number of salient issues that we have on the show, especially healthcare, by keeping up with matters on some of these matters on the front burner. And today, we have set our sights on tuberculosis, especially in the light of the just concluded Public-Private Mixed Summit for Tuberculosis Control in Nigeria. I have Dr. Ayodele Awe, the National Professional Officer in charge of tuberculosis from the World Health Organization, Abuja, here with me to discuss this.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, so you had a summit that ended yesterday. Yeah. So talk to us about this and why this was necessary at this time.
Yeah, well, the summit was organized by the World Health Organization in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Health and Lagos State Government. It was focusing on the problem of tuberculosis, which is huge and is becoming huger and huger. I use that word so that you know it's. The focus was particularly the private health sector and private corporate collaboration. The participation of the private sector in tuberculosis control is not something that we can talk of. So the purpose of the meeting was to bring the private health sector and the private corporate organization together with the government. That's what I call public-private mix, to sit down and talk about the challenges of tuberculosis, which is becoming huge in Nigeria, and particularly in mega cities like Lagos State. The summit is supposed to go to several cities. We started in Lagos because Lagos has the highest burden in Nigeria, and so the meeting, which was 2 days, looked at the private sector, health, and also the corporate. The private sector, health-seeking behavior of Nigerians, as you know, we go to private health facilities first. And then, we have only about 26% of the total private facilities in Nigeria participating in TB. So if health-seeking behavior is 60%, people are going there, and we have only 26% of them. It means that we cannot have access. We have to ensure that all the private health facilities are able to collaborate with us.
All right. So we're just going to take a look at a clip of that of the video of the part of the summit that took place just recently. Let's have a look. Now, this is one of the sensitization videos that was aired at the summit. Now, I'm looking at the cover of Vanguard this morning, and the statistics that I'm looking at are very troubling. It says 1 person dies every 3 minutes of tuberculosis. 3,000 people die every week, and then 18 persons die every hour. And by the end of the year, 145,000 people would have died from tuberculosis. And this is like a ticking time bomb. So this is one of also the reasons why you held this summit.
One statistic left out is that every hour, 47 persons develop tuberculosis every hour. And out of that 47, 7 are children. So we projected this from the data that we collate with the World Health Organization at the end of the year. And we put them so that it's tracking to let people know that TB is just close to us. Several persons are developing tuberculosis without knowing that they develop tuberculosis. Let me say, now, tuberculosis is a chronic disease, which the commonest symptom is coughing. And cough is a socially accepted symptom. When you cough, people say, even God bless you. And then so over time, people have been overlooking cough. And if it is tuberculosis, it goes beyond 2 weeks. So we are saying that any person that is coughing for 2 weeks or more should seek help. We have machines, which is called GeneXpert, that can diagnose that sort of person if it's tuberculosis. So persistent cough for 2 weeks or more should be the slogan to say, yes, go and seek for tuberculosis. Because these cases we are seeing now are usually coming when the disease have already destroyed the lungs, and that's when you see people coughing blood. So we are missing a lot of cases. Now, you saw that 300,000 missing TB cases. Nigeria ranks second in largest burden in Africa, and globally, after Pakistan, after India, we are number 7th. Highest burden means that we have such new cases we are seeing. Nigeria, each year, we are expected to see about 400,000 new cases. We are only seeing about 100,000 for the past 10 years. So it means that there are 300,000 TB cases that are in the community.
That are undiagnosed.
That are undiagnosed. And what do? They are infecting others. One TB person can infect 15 persons each year. And you can see the multiplier effect. 400,000 new cases every year cumulative, and then we're only seeing 100,000. So there are huge persons in the community that we need to detect. So the purpose of this summit is to bring the private health sector and the private corporate organization together to look at where are these missing 300,000 new cases. And as I said before, you know, health-seeking behavior. If I'm coughing, I won't go to hospital. I will just go to private chemist, give me, and then I take something. And then if it goes on and on and on, then you start to seek traditional medicine, and it goes on. After 2 months, you start to cough blood. And that's when they say, this could be a problem. So we are trying to use that meeting to create awareness, one, for the press, that any person that is coughing for 2 weeks or more, please, we have diagnosis. Just check it. We have a machine that within 100 minutes will tell you whether it's tuberculosis. 2, we brought private health sector together, all the private nurses, private hospitals, so that we are saying our people go to you. Health-seeking behavior 60%. We are only having TB, the number of proportion of facilities that are collaborating with us in private is only 26%. So if we want to get these missing cases, they are within your facilities. And so please come together and let's how we collaborate.
Now, Dr. Awe, a lot of these things that you're saying to us, I mean, there's people watching now and the general public, and you're being here with us as part of this sensitization campaign. What do people need to do? You've said if you're coughing over 2 weeks,
just go to the nearest hospital. We have 7,000 health facilities that are prepared, that have those machines to test.
Is it free? Well, how do they?
It's free. Okay. Just go there. We have some facilities that we call dot centers. They are in all the general hospitals. in Nigeria now.
Yes.
And then all the general hospitals and even tertiary institutions, when you are coughing for 2 weeks, just go to say, please, I am coughing, I need test. They will direct you there.
So they'll check to ensure that, you know,
they
it's not a tuberculosis
They will
case.
try to, without paying a single kobo. We have made provisions for this. And they will just take you, take sputum from you, and they check it. And 100 minutes, we have a machine called Gene Expert machine. It's a revolutionary molecular machine. It's what like PCR that they use for HIV. They just take it and they put it there and you check it. I have in one church, one woman, after we have shown this video of cough, and then she came and said, yeah, my driver has been coughing. The driver has been coughing for some time, and you know, the car, she will say, this is your cough, we go. And then sometimes she will just say, you know, and for almost about 1 year, the driver will lower the window and spit blood, but she's not seeing it. And she sits in the air-conditioned car in Lagos for about 2 hours. So, but as soon as she had this message, she took the driver to a place, and then they checked that it was TB.
Wow.
But lucky for her, she has not caught it. You understand? So we want to ask that any person in the community that's coughing for 2 weeks, it's available now. Treatment of TB takes some time. Just go to any place, and then public now, we only have 20% collaborating in private. Just go to any hospital, ask for the DOT center, or just ask
the DOT center, and then you can get treated.
And then you can just get checked.
Wow.
And treatment is also free, courtesy of the government.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Awe, for joining us this morning. I've learned quite a lot this morning, and we have to take a break now. There will be more on the show after this break.
Top of the morning to you.
We have been hard at work, brightening up your morning, and there is still more to come on the show.
Wondering where you are right now? You're on Wake Up Nigeria. Hello. And you know, with this show, there's never a dull moment. My name is Titilayo Oyinson.
And I'm Yomi Okwe. It's still Wake Up Nigeria, and we are coming to you live from the studios of TVC Communications right here in Lagos.
Don't forget, you can catch us live online on tvcontinental.tv and on Facebook. Look us up at TVC Connect. Connect with us. Make comments and tweet and post with our hashtag Wake Up Nigeria.
And you had to do that in a musical manner, right?
Yeah. And tweet and post and add a dash of laughter and tweet. Okay, it's not a real song. I'm just trying to tell you that you're gonna have a few laughs later on.
You will. We have some funny videos coming up where you're gonna be looking at.
Yes, indeed.
And he's NYSC paying him 19,800. That's question you supposed to ask, because if they don't collect that money, it's like if Agbaya collect sweet from baby, and that's how it is. In fact, it's Davido that's supposed to be paying NYSC, and I tell you,
MM will be showing us some really cool tips and tricks to make simple tasks at home even easier.
And finally, Nollywood actor Yemi Black will be joining us for a chat.
I cannot partake in the fellowship. It's easier to love a stranger than the one that you know.
Is that coming from a deeper place?
Okay,
right.
So, wait,
goodness,
just a moment. You know that stuff we were talking about yesterday? The mother slapping,
slapping daughter.
Now, I got the full story from someone, and it turns out that the food was actually what she had reserved for her parents.
And that's what I said. Oh,
so she was actually...
No, she didn't reserve it for her parents. She reserved it for people at home.
Okay.
So the woman took the food even when she had asked her that, okay, please, this is actually for my people. But the woman said, oh, these people came from far, I have to feed them.
Yeah.
The stuff is just somehow.
Okay, so now that complete story, we can't finish it as right now.
I don't even want us to go into it, but that part was why I had a better understanding of MM's insistence that the woman shouldn't have slapped her. Because at that moment, my thoughts at that time was,
Yeah.
She's
what
an
was the
elderly
point?
person.
As much as I want to recap that particular topic, I wanted to ask how you guys handled this. Mommy, what did you bring for me thing? Do your kids actually ask you whenever you get home, Daddy, what did you bring for me? Do you,
Oh, but that's regular. I'm sure you did it as a child too.
I don't know if I did. I don't know if I did. But I don't know how I'm going to handle it because it happens every day. And I don't want them to stop asking me for things. But I'm just like, so what do I do?
Yeah, but you can't bring them stuff every day.
Okay.
It's just not possible. So I think, number one, they're excited that you're home.
Yes.
So let it be that they're excited that you're home because it's you and not because of what you're bringing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
what about you?
Well, that's why you meet on the road. You hear carry like
What?
you need to buy. There's a way they say it, like I think.
Do you live in Abeokuta?
Yes, I live on the road to Abeokuta. Something about how, yeah, I know carry but something about how. Mommy, meaning mommy, welcome. My child, take this.
Okay.
That's the thing. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
so,
that's always been
so
something.
a cowboy is like,
yes,
and then it's like an exchange for something else.
So you give sweet.
Really?
Do you understand?
So
it's not
is
a
that
business.
what you do every day?
Well, you can't do it every day, but you can do it as often as you want, and it doesn't have to be expensive things. The thing is, we always think we can pamper our children.
Oh yes, she doesn't understand it yet.
Yet, don't worry. Elsie's gonna start that. Mommy, what did you bring for me thing very soon.
Very soon.
Very soon.
We should sort of do like a live weather
update.
I feel like it's gonna rain today.
No, there's actually something really cool they do on Max FM. They have this 5-word weather thing.
Oh, right.
I know that Mary has been trying to teach me how to get that 5-word weather thing.
5-word weather, how does it work?
5-word weather. So, sunny with a touch of drizzle.
Right, cool.
5-word weather.
Sunny
really
with
cool.
a touch of drizzle. Okay, well, it doesn't look. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
so
touch of
today probably would happen that way
Yeah.
today. Sunny with a
touch of drizzle.
That's 6.
6? Okay, touch of is 1 word. Okay, well, hey.
MC Lively. MC Lively.
Okay, stay on lane. Let me stay my lane.
Good
Stay on
morning.
lane,
We
let
are
me stay
not
my lane.
fighting now. But do you really think Davido is serving?
Who is that? Davido?
Our Davido.
Am I the platoon commandant? Commandant. Am I working here? NYSC? Why are you asking me? Why are you asking me? Can I leave my... Do you see me there? Do you see me there? He's not going to be happy that he even wear khaki. He upload it. He is serving. So I'm minister. He's not there to serve. They went to forge certificate. Question I'm supposed to ask, you did not ask. Is NYSC paying him 19,800? That question you're supposed to ask, because if Davido collect that money, it's like if Agbaya collect sweet from baby and that's how it is. In fact, it's Davido that's supposed to be paying NYSC Alawi. I tell you, Davido is not doing NYSC. NYSC is doing Davido. I tell you,
wow.
You are there asking whether Davido is doing. Is he even doing that front job in the camp? We then say, okay, Davido do front job. It's just he will give me 800 out of the 90,000.
800.
800. But can you do?
Which side? That side, okay. Thank you, Auntie. Auntie, good afternoon. Please, do people say Gary here? Thank you. What's the meaning of this rubbish? Auntie, is this not an African store? So why are people dressed like this in the store? No, let him finish. Excuse me, when you finish, I will... God forbid. God, this one, my own son, God forbid. My admission letter came in. Which school? Harvard University. Yes. Toby, the young man I'm next to just got admission to Harvard. How do you feel? What do you think is your purpose in this life, Toby? When you go to heaven, what are you going to give account to God? Kilomas, what are you going to tell God? Toby, what are you going to tell God? Good afternoon. Excuse me, young man. Which of the Harvard?
I say, they tell him like this straight to his face. How much the medicine?
Hey, they play my song. Mommy Jana, they forget that story. Forget husband when they want for serious complete.
These nuts.
I know say I talk am. I talk am. drop it. My friend, drop it. Chris, come on, no, come off outside, you're mad. Come on, get satisfied. Just. Now so you been talk safe that yesterday. I'll call you back. What did you do there? Now so. I
A few minutes later.
What?
International banana.
Hello and welcome back. Funny videos. Wow. Okay, so cracking you up on a Wednesday morning just feels like a lot of fun, but we're going straight into the music now. It's time for us to enjoy some music from Miss Eva Johnson. Now, she has found a way of putting together amazing spoken words into a 12-track album titled From a Different Cloth. She's here to perform Infamous Lady, and I can't wait to hear it.
Thank you.
I am the infamous lady that fella spoke about. I do the lady dance, and yes, I am the master of my mind, subject only to my master. A 3-in-1, not Nescafe, but keeps me sharp with his word. Two-edged sword teaches me how to pray, slay, evil, fashion, haters every day. Yes, I am the master of my mind. I mastermind many great phenomena. I wield the thoughts to change the world. My optimism is infectious. Yes, my confidence is intense. I wear my heart on my apparel. My beauty is not always apparent, but it is there, deep-rooted. I am one with the earth, though through the sands of time you trod me in the dirt, yet I am fertile ground. Whatever I take in multiplies. I can take you to the skies. I am the infamous lady that fella spoke about. Infamous lady, don't need you calling me baby. Even if they hate you, lift your head high into the fire. Infamous lady, don't need you calling me baby. They're not gonna like you, they go and fight you. Lift your head high into the father that got you. The ground. I am no ostrich, I am birthing, beautiful swan, peacocking, gearing to take flight on eagle's wings, gentle as a dove, wise as a serpent. Can you see my brand new wings? I am the infamous lady that fella spoke about. I do the lady dance, and yes, I am the master. Things did not get easier, but see, I got stronger, wiser, faster, smarter, better. I am the infamous lady that fella spoke about. Ooh. I'm working so hard that you have so much to talk about, so keep talking as I sign out with peace, love, and blessings. The infamous lady that fella spoke about. Infamous lady, don't need you calling me baby. Even if they hate you, lift your head high to the father that made you.
Infamous lady. Oh, goodness me. I didn't see that coming. I knew it was good. I didn't think it was this good. Okay, so the infamous lady that Fela spoke about.
Yes.
For those that don't know what Fela was talking about, let's try and break it down as quickly as possible.
Okay, so we all love Fela and what he represents in terms of its contribution to Afrobeats and political prowess and all that. But there are some of his ideologies that I don't agree with, and some of them are on that song, Lady. He was talking about Lady being master of herself and all that. I was like, yeah, I am. Why is that not a good thing? I mean, you know, so that's what the song is pretty much about. But much more than that, it's just about giving women empowerment and letting them know that they can be, you know, they can take responsibility for themselves, they can be confident, and that's fine, yeah.
I am so appreciative that you could come today. And of course,
Miss
Eva Johnson has this 12-track spoken word album, From a Different Cloth. You should go check it out online. And of course, put your comments out there with our hashtag WakeUpNigeria. Now we have to head over to MM. MM has some really cool life hacks that she's going to be showing us.
All right.
Stay tuned.
All right, thank you very much, Titi. Amazing performance there from Eva Johnson. Okay, so today on Hacks, I'll be teaching you a DIY on a no-sew kimono jackets. I know you're wondering what's a no-sew. So basically, you have your piece of cloth, and from this piece of cloth, you can create your own kimono jacket. I mean, you really do not have to spend an arm or leg getting your own kimono jacket. So what are the things you're going to be working with to create this piece? So with me, I have my super glue and embellishments. I have my tassel earrings here. I know you're like wondering, tassel earrings? Yes, tassel earrings. I have a few Ankara pieces that I cut out from my Ankara cloth. I'm going to teach you that later on. And then I have a few stones here. Pieces. I mean, you can literally find this everywhere, basically. And then I have my scissors, my chalk, and my marker. So first of all, what I'm going to do here is you have your piece of cloth. So here I'm working with a denim jeans fabric. So you fold it into two, like I've done here. So next, what I'm going to do here is you layer it out on your table. And if you look closely, I don't know if camera can capture it. I already marked out, you know, the edge of each of the fabric. So what I'm going to do here is create a curve. I'm going to create a curve with where I've marked out with my scissors, of course. So what I'm going to do here is, so just like I said, layer it on properly on the table, and then cut across the line that you have created on your fabric. So with this, while creating this, you can work with your Ankara fabric. You can work with whatever fabric basically, but it has to be a soft fabric so that you're able to get what you're going for. So I'm just going to create another curve here at on the other side of the jacket. So straighten that out, and I'm going to cut through. So this is very easy. I mean, so for one of those days where you really do not have an Ankara piece and you just need one for maybe an occasion or something, this, you could just, and you have, pieces of Ankara or any sort of fabric at home laying around, you could just, do this. So as you can see here, I've created that curve. So next, what I'm going to do is fold into two again. Make sure they're both equal. Both ends are equal, yeah, both sides are equal. So when you do that, you put it on a table, straighten it out, and then what I'm going to create next are your sleeves. So what you do here with your chalk or your marker is create the parts of the cloth you want to cut out so it's easier. So I'm just going to do that here, cut it out. Cut out the sleeves. So we are working with a short sleeve kimono jacket here. Not the ones with sleeves, but if you want to, add a bit of razzmatazz to your kimono, you can as well, attach sleeves to it with needle and thread. But this is very easy, simple, and you're good to go. So you've done that. So next what you do is open it up. So basically the kimono we are talking about here are those loose kimonos. I'm sure you've seen some of them in the market or in your boutique. So here you go. You put in the other sleeve here and you're good to go. So it's very loose. For those of us who like, that also depends on your style, the eccentric type of kimono. So what I'm going to do here quickly is just attach my tassel earrings just to give your kimono jacket a little bit of, look, just to give it a nice look. So what I'm going to do is attach my earrings in and out and then attach this. So just, as you can see, these tassel earrings are pretty colorful. So it actually depends on the kind of fabric you're working with. So that way it adds a little bit of style to your kimono jacket, as you can see. So you can rock this basically with anything to anywhere. Very easy, and you're ready to go. And that's all on our DIYs for today. There's more on Wake Up Nigeria. Stay with us.
Welcome back. Now, actor Yemi Black is a known face in Nollywood. However, what many do not know about him is that he's also a songwriter and a poet. His baritone voice also puts him in a league of undisputable voiceover talents. It's safe to call him a jack of all trades in a way. And he's joining us this morning. It's a pleasure to have you on the show.
It's really nice to be here. It's really great.
I'm liking the...
Oh, thank you. You
Is
know,
this a Danshiki?
Yes, it's a tribute to my cultural heritage. I'm proudly Yoruba, you know, and so I like to wear these things once in a while just to
it's
make
cool.
me have
It's
that
cool.
feeling.
I like
you
it.
know what I mean?
Nice. So I know 2018 is a little bit of a different year for you.
Yeah.
And you're into more of music than the movies. So we'll talk a little bit about the movies later on. But talk to us about this new project that you're working on.
It's not actually new. I've always loved music. I caught my teeth on it, and even before I went for training as an actor, you know, with music you don't have to go for much training, especially if you're doing popular music of any sort. So it's a talent that I always exhibited growing up, and so after going for training as an actor here, I've been doing this for a bit. I decided that, you know, you get to a certain stage and you're thinking, I'm not going to go away without leaving the world some of the gifts that God has given to me. So that's just me expressing myself in as many creative ways as possible. So there's a creative part of me coming up through the acting, and there's also another part that's coming through my writing and also my singing.
Yeah. So would you say, because I know that if there's one thing that changes people, especially men, is when they have children. So is this also why you just thought, you know what, let me focus on this?
Not really. It's I mean, that is something that I need to write a poem about, because even though my son was born some time ago, I remember vividly the day that he was born, and I remember that yesterday, and in a group that I belong to, a reggae group on WhatsApp, someone mentioned that when they had their first child, that they wept uncontrollably, and they said, oh, immediately he was defensive, like, oh, you know, you might call it childish. You know, when I told him, that's not childish. When I saw my child as well, I cried. The first time he was birthed in my presence, you know, and then the doctor held him up, and initially I thought the roof of the hospital was leaking because I just felt splatters of water all over my shirt, like what's going on. Then I realized it was my eyes that were leaking, you know. So it's a very emotional situation, and yeah, I'm going to write. But that's not it. It's just about me always having been a creative person, you know. I like to be around the creative process. I like to be, you know, creative, you know, put words together, you know, acting, the whole works. And so for me, it's just saying that there's another talent that's there, and people don't know about it, because, I mean, everyone knows me as an actor. And some of the voiceovers I've done, it's not something as easily recognizable, because when you're doing voiceovers, you're also doing character acting. So sometimes your voice doesn't sound like yours, you know. So, but for the music, it's something that's going to come out, and ultimately, there are going to be videos that will say, "Oh, wow, he's the one that did this."
Yeah. So I like that. I mean, it's a new direction, and hopefully, when we do get to see it, I know it's going to be as fantastic as.
I'm pretty certain that it is.
So now, the acting. You know, sometimes it's usually the end product that we see on the screen. You know, people don't usually see what happens behind the scenes and the whole process and all of that. Now, what does it take to be a character for you? So you get a script and you look at it. What attracts you to a particular role?
Okay, I'll start with what does it take to be a character. I think that basically, as a human being, God is giving us gifts that enable us to flourish in life. And those gifts also have supporting character traits. I've always been the one that's being the keen observer of life. I like to watch people. I like to watch how they interact. People are talking, and I'm not listening per se to the words that are just coming out of the mouth. I'm listening to the body language. I'm listening to, you know, all those things. And over time, I've been able to build up a repertoire. So when called upon to act a character, once I go through it, I'm able to go back into my, you know, my storage and say, oh, this person would speak like this person and act like this person. You know what I mean? So you put the compendium together, and then sometimes when you're reading a character, you don't have to go back. The character would by itself reach into those storage and
just
pull out
something.
what it needs to be the character. You know what I mean?
This kind of analysis, so it's quite interesting.
Yeah, but that's the way it is. So you're reading, and then, I mean, I had this experience of 2003. That was my first professional acting experience. I went for an audition in Benin City, and immediately I got there, some person who was seated on the panel called me Shegun. I said, no, my name is not Shegun, my name is Yemi. I said, no, you're Shegun. I said, no. So he called some other person and said, well, come. Who be this guy? I said, Shegun be this now. I said, no, I thought it was Shegun because I didn't know what Shegun had done, you know? And later on, when I got the script, they read through it and they showed me the part and said, this Shegun, Shegun came to life. Just walking through the door, that's it. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Just looking at me physically, I fit into the character. You know what I mean, right? So that's how it is sometimes. Some characters are so compelling, you read them, and you just want to be a part. There's a project that I'm going to start working on in the next couple of days. And when I read the script, I told the guy, I just have to be. If only he knew that he didn't have to pay me to be alive, right? Because you see the
project you want to be.
Oh, yeah. For me, it's about posterity now. You know what I mean, right? When you're young, you want your face to be everywhere.
Yeah.
You need the fame because that translates to money and work, you know. But when you get to a certain stage, it's all about posterity. You're looking at projects that are going to stand you in good stead in the next 20 years when the story of Nollywood per se will be written, you know, and the people are talking about standout performances. You know, it will be about those singular characters that have come up.
Speaking of that, we're going to take a clip, look at a clip that from one of the films that you have done.
Oh, great.
And if that's ready, we can play it now.
Oh, great.
First of January, you people robbed a bank. Yes, you robbed Wazobia Bank. You killed the security man, and you killed the banker. No, I was in church, sir. In church? Church, yes, sir. Church. Yes. Convert, please. Okay. Shut up. Who's the owner of this wallet? Huh? My wallet. Your wallet. You see? You're a criminal. You're a criminal. It's your wallet. It's your wallet. You're a criminal. Huh? Where's your wallet? Huh? Nothing. Let's go. What? You said? Let's go. What? This wallet is my own now. I was robbed just close. Robbed? Yes, close by here. And I came to drop my... How many robbers rob robbers? How many robbers? Who rob robbers?
So I only have one word to say about that, that clip, versatility. That's one of the things, because when you see Yemi Black, you know, there's a certain kind of expectation. But then you just go into this other something that has to do with comedy.
I think for a lot of people are too unique faceted. You know, they try to be one person, and well, if that's who they are, happy birthday. But for me, I'd rather not be that person. I'd rather be the person who is fluid. You know what I mean, right? Yeah. Because even in life, sometimes you go to certain places and the way that you are puts you in danger. That's the truth. So sometimes you go to certain places and you need to be that, oh boy, what's in the apple?
Yeah,
sit down there, don't worry you. You know, I've been in places where there was a conflict. We were acting and boys are all, you know, gingering to fight. Yeah. And I stepped in there, when the actor ain't going there, you know, I just went in there. I grabbed one of the boys. He was drinking Alo Mobitas. Yeah. I just grabbed the bottle from him, down the bottle, and said, you know, father. Yeah. You know what I mean, right? Yeah. And that's the fluidity I'm talking about. Because in life, we need to realize that there's a defining factor as a human being. But then, if you can move in between spaces, you become more of a human being. Because then you're experiencing life from different places, different angles, and that's who I'd rather be.
Then you can connect with different kinds of people.
Exactly.
You know, on screen and off screen.
Off screen, that's it. So it's a skill.
It's. I mean, we could take this conversation, you know, all the way till 10 o'clock this morning, but you already smelled the food in the kitchen, so I have to take you there.
Yes.
This way, please.
Oh, great.
So, how long this music project? How long is it going to take?
For me,
when should we be expecting something?
I'm looking at next year. I've been doing this for a long time. Hey, how are you? Thank you. How's it going? Thank you. Titi, nice to meet you. Hello, how you guys?
That's Mary and that's MM in the corner.
Yes, welcome to our kitchen. Please take a seat.
Oh, okay, great.
Yes.
So you're welcome to the kitchen. We've got Chef Susan of Splash Greens here, and she made this meal.
Ooh.
Okay. So what is it? You tell him yourself. She's starstruck. I'll help her. It's garden egg sauce. And
He's just getting black.
Can ice cream?
Okay, go ahead.
This is a boiled yam with garden egg sauce. Yoruba call it igba. Thank you.
No, I speak very good at Yoruba.
She's really shy. Oh my goodness.
Okay, so we'll just...
Yeah. All right.
Let's
Mary can probably break it down for us.
Pineapple with ginger juice to go with it.
Pineapple and ginger juice.
You not give everything to Yemi.
I wonder why I'm the only one that's eating, but I'm not complaining.
Please taste and tell us how far.
All right, while that is going on, we want to say a big thank you to our friends over at Homely NG for the kitchen accessories. As usual,
yes,
you guys come through for us.
Thank you so much for this great hair look and everything that you do for us, Fola's Place. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate you. And all of you watching right now, we love you too. If you missed anything, you can always go online, go onto YouTube and check us out there. All the clips, all the information, all the life hacks and everything that's happened.
Big thank you to Yemi Black, who's been silenced by the cooking of...
To all the fans watching out there, trust me, you can catch up with a lot of things happening. You missed this one. Trust me, this is really good. Yum, yum.
Like it?
Thank you.
Also, she's happy.
Okay, and with that...
We're going to see you tomorrow.
Have a nice day.
Bye.
Bye.